So guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive into the brand new Babolat Pure Aero 2026. So in my hand I've got the brand new 98. Finn over there somewhere has got the 100. He's going to be testing that out. We're mainly going to be doing the 98 because I think that's going to be probably the more popular racket. It's probably going to be the more, popular players racket as well, because it offers a bit more control as well as that ridiculous spin and power. So obviously the specs, nothing really brand new, nothing spectacular. It's still a 98 square inch head, 1620 string pattern, and it's 305 grams in weight. I think that it is slightly head lighter than the previous model. Not 100% sure, it does feel a little bit that way. There have been some additions to the layup, some changes. So the mold is now a lot thinner at the throat. As you can see, it's very kind of E-zoney, kind of that vibe there. I've heard that this is to increase the aerodynamic nature of the racket, give you more racket head speed, allowing you to generate more power, more spin. So I think that's probably quite a smart move. As always on the channel, we're gonna use a few categories to kind of, give it a score at the end out of 70. The first one is aesthetic. For me, this is a bit of a throwback to, the earlier models of the Babolat Aero Pros, I think they were called back then, early 2000s. They had that kind of, very kind of retro grayish, and then the Babolat was also in kind of this slightly fluorescent gray. Would you call that, Ella? I don't know. What do you think? Style Guru, what are you giving it out of 10?
I like it. I think it's a solid 8.
Okay, 8 out of 10 on aesthetic. Should we take it to the baseline, see how it performs? Yay! Oh! Finn just surprised there at the amount of spin I was able to generate. So, as you guys are probably aware, I did a full review of the 2023 model, and I remember that I was hitting ridiculous amounts of spin with that. I mean, I was just launching the ball. It was actually very hard to hit the ball long. It was almost catching me off guard, because I was hitting the ball, what felt like kind of 3 feet long, and it was just like dipping in. And it was so easy to just generate spin. And I can tell you for free that this is pretty much no different. I mean, from the baseline, it is so easy to use. Just as I say that, he pulls me forward for a short slice. But yeah, from the baseline, it is dreamy. Just ripping up the back of the ball for fun. A lot of control. I'd say, for me, this is probably the racket with the perfect mixture of power, spin. Oh God, need a bit more spin on that one. But yeah, it's like a perfect mixture of power and spin. And then also you control on top as well, but got out of breath there. Need to get fitter. Yeah, I mean, it's just so easy to control the ball, especially out the corners. It's maneuverable. I think it does feel a little bit more maneuverable than the old one. Not 100% sure because I haven't hit with it in a while, but it's definitely very easy to defend with. It's maneuverable. Can generate that heavy spin from pretty much, off any ball really. Yeah, decent bit of power as well. From the baseline, I think this is a pretty hard racket to beat. It does everything. Offers you power, offers you spin, maneuverability. It's good on the attack. Fantastic on the defense as well. From neutral rally balls, just feels fantastic. I mean, if I really lock in, which I wasn't really doing there, but if I really lock in, it feels like it's very hard to miss with, especially long. I can go on and on. The ease of depth, height over the net. Let's just give it a 10 and move on. So one key thing to add, it is a different racket to the old one. I don't know what it is about it, but it feels slightly softer. I mean, I might be wrong. I've heard that other people say it's like stiffer, but for me, this definitely feels like a little bit easier to play with than the old one. It's a little bit more forgiving. Not that the old one was like hard, but yeah, it is a little bit softer. I mean, NF2 tech, and they've put that in there, that is making the racket softer. It's the stuff that's in the Pure Drive as well. So I don't know, maybe that's the reason. maybe the materials for the racket have improved. I don't know, but yeah, feels pretty fantastic, really. So, power. Let's see if we can smoke it around a little bit, increase the MPHs. Should we go? So I'm gonna really try and get after it here. Yeah, I mean, power generation, like I said before, optimum level of power, I think, you know, for the amount of spin you can generate without it becoming an absolute boomstick. As you can see there, like, the ball's coming in fast, I'm able to send it back fast. I'm able to keep the control over the ball, you know, at a high tempo. Should we go again? Yeah, pretty bloody good as well. For power, it's definitely not the most powerful racket I've hit with, but I'm gonna give it a very solid 9, purely because, you know, compared to the rest of the racket, how much spin you can generate, how much control you get, I feel like it's a real optimum level of power. So for me, it's a straight 9. Let's go with spin. So this time I'm gonna try and rip up the back slightly more. Give it a bit of the Rafa. Flazé! Flazé! I mean, we're using absolute dog balls as well, but hey! 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 Ah! Yeah, I mean, spin generation is pretty damn easy with this thing. I mean, I'm just ripping up the back of it. There's such a good margin for error, I think, when you're trying to create spin as well, because I think the beam is slightly thinner. I'm not sure if it's thinner than the old one. I'd have to put them side by side, but the kind of shape of the racket, the thinness of the beam, you know, the more aerodynamic throat means you can really throw the racket at the ball, move it very, very fast, and it doesn't feel like you're kind of risking much, in my opinion. Like, as you can see there, the ball's pretty fucking quick, so not really missing many. Is it too late to switch, or will you allow me to switch, Ella, or am I gonna continue using the Pro Staff?
We'll see.
I don't know, we'll tease it for the subs. Yeah, so next category is control and feel. Not something I'd normally associate with a big Babolat boomstick, but obviously this racket is pretty special, it's a bit different. So we're gonna go a bit of slice to slice and see how I handle it. Go for it. Hey. 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 I mean, it's pretty dreamy on the slice, to be honest. Like, I'd say that my Pro Staff definitely cuts through the ball a little bit more, like it's easier to knife it. But this, I'm able to generate quite a lot of spin, and I'm also able to absorb pace a little bit easier as well. Yeah, it's very easy to bring the racket through quite quickly. Really shred the ball on that slice. Play it. Won't make me move quicker though. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty hard racket to fault as well when it comes to control. I think that there's definitely better feeling rackets. I think that, you know, some of the Wilsons, when you're kind of bringing out the hands and the touch, probably feel a little bit better, but I think for, you know, the all-round performance, you know, it gives you power, gives you spin, gives you control as well. I think the feel is about as good as it can be, really, in this racket. So I'm going to end up scoring it very highly again. I'm going to give it a 9 for control and feel. All right, let's give it a whirl at the net. Got to ask my practice partner to calm down a little bit. He's just tried to tee off. Just go behind me if you want. Just go a little bit further back, yeah. He won't hit you, it'll be fine. Here we go. Hey. 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 Ah. Hey. 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 That's good. It's bloody good at the net as well. I mean, what surprises me is how well you can deal with the lower volleys. I thought that, you know, I hit with the pure drive before I did the Aero review, I think, and I tried out a few Babolats, and like the ball was just pinging off, like especially when it was coming fast and low and I was struggling to get depth. Whereas this, you can almost just place the racket out, the ball goes low, and you just get so much control. I can get the depth pretty much, you know, so easily. Like I say, it's got a good optimum level of power in my opinion. Right, should we hit some more volleys? You might want to get out of the way. Go on, turn it up, really, really hammer it at me. Test me out. Hey. Ah! No, here we go. Woo! Come on. Whoa! Nearly killed me. So Finn's just been using the 100 Aero. So big thank you to Finn for coming on the channel again. What are you now in the world?
880 or something?
Quality player, he's going to get way higher than that. What are you, top 300 in dubs?
350.
350 in dubs. Guy can play. He's not like me, he's not a pony. So Finn's just been trying out the Aero 100. Finn, honest thoughts?
It's good, I like it, yeah. I feel like I used the pure drive extended last year, 100. Feels quite similar to that in terms of pop, and but just way more control obviously, and I've now switched to a different racket that's normal length, and it feels good. Easy spin and good power.
Yeah? What are your thoughts on it compared to the E-Zone? So you hit with the E-Zone last week.
Yeah, I hit with the E-Zone a bit ago with Louis Hull's racket. I feel like it's quite similar, maybe a little bit more pop, and it feels a bit. I think it feels a bit softer than the E-Zone as well.
Really?
E-Zone felt quite harsh. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that's quite interesting that this has the. I mean I've been saying about it a lot. I don't really know what it is, but it's the NF2 tech. People have been, you know, talking about that for a while and saying how it's like softening up the racket. So that's very interesting because we didn't speak about that at all before we started, did we? We didn't. I just literally gave it him and said, "See what you think to that." You know, and he's obviously quite enjoyed it. What sort of player do you think the 100 suits more? Do you think?
I think maybe if you want a slightly bigger sweet spot.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's going to give similar amount of power to the 98, probably just a bit more forgiveness. Probably someone that's, you know, wants that sort of spin to keep the ball in and good control, but also probably wants maybe a little bit more pop than someone who uses a 98, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What sort of surfaces, what sort of conditions do you think this will be like an optimum place for this racket to be in?
Slow outdoor hard, I would say, maybe
Slow
clay
outdoor
as well.
hard, yeah.
I mean,
Some big kickers, big kick serves.
I just feel like it's so easy to get the ball up and down with it.
Yeah, it's a joke, isn't it? Like it literally, like it's crazy because when you're at the back, do you find this that when you're hitting sometimes it feels like it's going to go like long and then it just like dips back in? Yeah, it just sort of like really aggressively dips within the last kind of like 3 or 4 feet of, you know, the ball traveling.
Yeah. I personally feel though with these kind of rackets that you need, when I use my pure, you need to add lead onto the sides.
Interesting.
Just to give it a bit more like, I feel like these compared to like, let's say like a control racket, they can sort of a bit more flimsy, so you need to sort of
stabilize them up a little bit. Yeah, put a few stickers on the side there, yeah. No, I get that. I think that's probably a wise move. So if you're into your customization, chuck a bit of lead on the side, get it a bit more stable. Okay, so the last category, probably the most important in my opinion, and probably the area that people don't test rackets out enough is, you know, playing points with serve. I think that's crucial. Everyone likes to hit from the baseline, feel good, but I think to find what a racket is, you know, going to truly offer you, I think you need to play points with serves, you need to hit serves. It's the most important part of the game, so let's get into it. I mean, it's just so maneuverable out wide. You can just kind of whip it around. It's a bit more whippy than the old one, I feel. Hey! Very nice on the return. Like, because it's a little bit softer, getting a little bit more control as well. Ah! 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 Yeah, it's good at feeding smashes as well. Yeah, I mean, for serving, like, for me, there's not a massive difference between, you know, this and some of the other frames on the market, like the E-Zone or even like the new V-Cores. Like, it's obviously got more power than my Pro Staff, probably able to generate a little bit more spin. But the area that I feel like this really helps players out is the second serve. I feel like you can just throw it up, you can swaz it with more spin, and you've got a lot more confidence. I feel like on the first serve, obviously, if you're hitting big, like, you're gonna hit big with pretty much anything. But the second serve is so good with this. So, I mean, first serve, like, I'm probably gonna serve well with anything. It feels obviously pretty good, like decent amount of pop. You know, not amazing control on the serve, but still pretty good. But the second serve is, you know, there's a huge gain out of this compared to like my Pro Staff. Thanks for doing that, mate. Appreciate it a lot. So, points for serve. I mean, it's pretty hard to fault this racket. From pretty much everywhere on the court, it plays well. I mean, the only thing that I would say is a minor critique of it. On my first serve, I wasn't getting as much kind of control, you know, precision that I'm maybe used to. But obviously, I'm using a Pro Staff. It's a pretty, you know, hard racket to beat for the first serve. But second serve, getting a ton more spin, you know, really kicking the ball up. My forehand, I'm hitting heavier with more spin. And out of the corners as well. It was really easy to defend with. It was actually quite enjoyable to, you know, defend with because it is very maneuverable. Whether that is the, you know, lower swing weight or the new and improved shape of the throat to make it more aerodynamic, I don't actually know. But that's just what I was feeling. So for points for serve, I'm going to give it a very, very solid 9 out of 10. I think that, you know, so many players are going to enjoy playing with this racket. You can see everyone's already switching to it, you know, from the pros. Even other brands are making this racket as well. So, yeah, points for serve, absolutely fantastic. So, scores are in. Can you do the math, or do you want me to? So guys, there you have it. That is the Babolat Pure Aero 2026 review for the 100 and the 98. As ever, massive thank you for watching. If you haven't done already, smash the subscribe button, give it a like, send it to all your mates, send it to your mum, and I'll see you next time.